Pastor Ed here with Daily Devotions for Tuesday, October the 3rd, 2023. I had to look down to remind myself. Tuesday's the 3rd. I can't believe we're in October already. Well, anyway, our reading today is from Paul's letter to the Philippians, the 4th chapter, where he writes, "Not that I am referring to being in need, for I have learned to be content with whatever I have. I know what it is to have little, and I know what it is to have plenty. In any and all circumstances, I have learned the secret of being well fed and of going hungry, of having plenty and of being in need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me." We started talking last week about life choices and time management in a sense. I told a story about a pastor who realized that he was kind of neglecting his family. Well, pastors aren't the only ones who struggle with balance in their lives. In fact, in a survey conducted for the Massachusetts Mutual Life Insurance Company, parents rated their inability to spend enough time with their children as the greatest threat to the family. Oddly enough, however, despite their expressed desire for more family time, 2/3 of those surveyed also said that they would probably accept a job that required more time away from home if it offered more money or greater prestige. In stark contrast, the great 19th century naturalist and Harvard professor Louis Agassiz was once approached by the emissary of a learned society and invited to address its members. Agassiz declined the invitation, saying that lectures of this kind took up too much of his time. The man persisted, however, saying that the society was prepared to pay handsomely for the lecture. "That's no inducement to me," Agassiz replied. "I can't afford to waste my time making money." Simplicity, write the authors of Life Keys, brings a powerful freedom to live as God wants you to live. In our reading this morning, the Apostle Paul says much the same thing. "I've learned to be content with whatever I have," writes Paul. "In any and all circumstances, I've learned the secret of being well fed and of going hungry, of having plenty and of being in need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me." And finally, the authors of Life Keys ask, do you seek to learn from those who seem to have enough time? Jesus once said, "Let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven." In other words, our life choices do matter to God. Along with our life gifts and spiritual gifts and personality type, time is his greatest gift to us. Jesus reminds us that we are made for good works. No one else can do them for us. But how do we find the time? First, the author suggests, think of people that you really admire. Where do they find the time to accomplish all that they do? After all, they have the same amount of time to work with as we do. And what we usually discover, however, is that these people are usually extremely focused. According to a controversial book entitled Time for Life, the average American has more free time today than at any time since 1965. A couple of time management experts studied the daily routines of Americans over the past 30 years or so to arrive at this surprising conclusion. They estimate that our leisure time has increased almost 5 hours per week over the past 3 decades. Knowing that most people feel more rushed today than ever before, these experts say that more leisure time has actually accelerated rather than slowed the pace of life. On average, they point out, Americans spend 9/10 of 1 hour per week, approximately 54 minutes, on religious activities. Compare this, they say, to the 15 hours a week that are spent watching television. And this is a couple years old. It might even be worse now. Someone once wrote, imagine that a bank credits your account each morning with $86,400. No balance is carried over from day to day. Any balance is deleted each evening. What would you do when you knew that you would not use all of your daily balance? Why, withdraw every penny, of course. Well, you and I have such a bank. The name of our bank is time. Each and every day, we are credited with 86,400 seconds. Every night, whatever we have not used is debited from our account. Our time bank allows no overdraft. There's no going back for a second chance. Our time bank does not allow borrowing from tomorrow either. The clock ticks away, never waiting for an individual to catch up, no waiting for what might have been. Relentlessly, the clock ticks, and therefore we must invest our time wisely. And that means thinking through our life choices and the biblical principles that we've been discussing. It means then ranking those principles, identifying the areas where we manage our time the best. And finally, it means taking our calendar or appointment book or however we keep track of this and considering the changes we might make in this season of our life in order to more truly create the life choices that reflect the person we really are and hope to become. For instance, consider where your time goes on a typical day. Assuming that work or other set responsibilities consume 1/3 of your time, where does the rest go? Where do you want it to go? Robert Frost, as we noted last Friday, once wrote of the road less traveled. Being a Christian in today's world usually means making choices that go directly against what the culture and our society say we should do. And indeed, if we follow Jesus' path, some of these roads will remain untraveled by us. And yet this is precisely what Jesus is calling us to consider. But he also promises that if we take the road less traveled, we will discover, to our joy, that it has indeed made all the difference. Well, that kind of wraps up this life key. We're going to start with a new one tomorrow on Wednesday. Until then, take care. Have a great day today, though. We'll see you then. Bye.